Good afternoon, friends, and welcome back to my very messy craft room. I've still not tidied it. It's not enough hours in the day, is there? Please forgive me for my my voice. I don't think it's going to hold out. I'm supposed to be joining in the prayer meeting tonight, and I don't think I'm going to be able to. So I do forgive me. So yesterday we did the Christmas pudding, didn't we? And I did go ahead and just blanket stitch the top of the frosting where that gap was, and I'm really happy with that. I'm really pleased with how that's turned out. So that's going to be probably going on. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'm not sure what I haven't decided what to do with these yet. I might just have them up on like a bunting style thing. We'll see, won't we? So another bit of felt fun today, and I just again found some basic shape online and just drew it out and cut it out. I cut two out so we could sew them again together like we did with the Christmas pudding. And a little brown square for the trunk or the bucket, whatever it is for you, to you. But I thought before we sew it together, I thought we'd decorate it a little bit. Now, there's so many options with the decorating. We could have sequins, we could have buttons, we could have whatever we want, couldn't we? I'm trying to think what else. Could stick those little mini pom-poms on them, couldn't we? Absolutely loads of ideas. And I thought to myself, because I enjoy I mean, not everybody enjoys hand sewing, do they? But I do. And I thought, why don't I just sew some little French knots on there? They're so easy. They're so easy. And because I've got this glitter thread, this embroidery thread that I found in my stash, I must have had it a very long time. I thought, why don't I just use some of this glitter, because I've got some gold, this metallic red, got some silver as well, I've got all the colours. I don't want to do too many. So I thought, well, before we sew them together, I'll just put a little bit of decoration there on the trees so that we could just make it look a bit fancier. Now, I could cut out the yellow star and stick that on top, couldn't I, later on? I'll think about that later. I'll just put the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. Let's bring you a little bit closer. Now, this is such an easy thing to do, so I do hope you can see. I'll just bring the light over a little bit more because it's so dark. Just hope you can see that really well. So I've just brought the thread through from the back because that's going to be hidden in between. Now all you do is you've pulled the thread through, you wrap the thread round a couple of times, you could do it 3 times if you want, but then you put the needle back where you brought the thread through and then pull it like so, and it forms a little French knot. That's gorgeous. So I'm going to go down because I want to put a couple of gold ones here as well. So I'm just going to go down here to this middle bit here, the bottom, sort of in between the middle section and the bottom section. And I'm just going to do that again. Go on. So you've pulled the thread through. You're going to wrap the thread over the needle 2 or 3 times, however big you want the knot to be, and then put the needle back in the same place where the thread comes through and pull it tight. Whoops, it's not worked. Oh dear. Come on. There we go. You see? Isn't that pretty? And we'll do another one. Now, metallic thread isn't the easiest to use. If you were using normal thread, it would be wonderful. But we want that glittery look, don't we? That sparkly look. So 1, 2, 3, round the needle, back in where it came from, and then pull it tight. You've got 3 lovely, that's coming loose, let me just tighten that up. There we go. Got 3 lovely little French knots there. So I will just tie that off. It doesn't have to be too secure. It's not something that's going to be going through the washing machine. We just want to hang it up on the tree, don't we? So I'll just snip that, and then I'll change it for the gold thread. We can save that for if we want to use it again for a smaller project. And then again, I must apologise for my voice, people. I'm going to be very quiet tonight when the husband gets home. He will be thrilled, won't he? Won't be nagging him. This isn't easy to thread. I'm using a slightly larger eyed needle, you know, like the chenille. That's not going to work. I'm wondering if I should separate them to make it a bit easier. That might work, mightn't it? I'm not very keen on using metallic thread. As beautiful as what it is, it's not easy. Let's just take that out and we'll thread a few less, because I think I mentioned yesterday, embroidery thread usually comes in 6 strands. So I'm just going to do a quilter's knot with you again. 1, 2, 3, pull it through, and you've got a knot on the end. Just snip the remainder off to tidy that up a little bit. You can see that. And then that's a bit untidy, so I might just snip that and tie it off. What do you think? Might do that later, but it is all going to be hidden, so I probably won't bother. So we'll just have 2 near the edge, because I'm going to be sewing, aren't I? Come in a little bit, I think. We'll pop the gold through. Wrap the thread round the needle, back in where you came from. Whoops. Come on. I keep pushing the knot back out. Having one of those days, I think. I've been making prayer robes for the church today. And they are wonderful to make, but they are so time consuming as well. And the amount of times I've had to undo the knots and start again, and they're not easy to make on Combriskini's prayer robes. They're not easy at all. I'm just going to tie that off just to secure it a bit better than the red one was. And making prayer robes does take quite a lot of patience. I think if you followed me for any length of time, you'll know it's not one of my qualities, isn't patience, is it? I need to stop that from coming loose. I might have to do something with that to secure it better. And then I think we'll just have a gold one at the other side. I mean, you could do it more random than I've done it. I'm lining mine up really. But I do love French knots. I love embroidery, and I do love all the different designs of embroidery stitches. I do think they're very pretty. You can do so much with embroidery. Come on. And then we've got some lovely little decorations. You could put a few more on. I might just have a gold one here, just to finish it off. But like I say, some sequins on here would be absolutely gorgeous. Some little buttons would be really nice. And I just think it's really sweet, these little projects. So that's that. So I'm just going to, in fact, I'll just do a knot there just to secure it. Let's pull that tail out. There we go. And then I'm hoping, I think I might be better off trying to knot that. I know it's going to be really tight, but that really doesn't want to stay secure, so I might just have to mess with that later and tie it in a tighter knot. You're going to do the same with the other side, or you may want to decorate it a bit different. It's entirely up to you. But just for quickness, because I think what I'll do later is look for my glue and glue some sequins on. So just for quickness, I'm going to grab the embroidery thread, the green one that I had out last night. I'm not going to go through all my embroidery threads trying to find a different colour. This will be fine. Oh, I fail miserably with my quarters knot. Oh, do you know, nothing's working tonight, guys. It's not going well for me. I've tried 3 times now to video this today, and 3 times I've had 4 times. This is my 4th attempt. It's 3 times now I've had the dogs barking like crazy, going mental. So let's hope we can do this. Come on. So again, now last night we did a blanket stitch, didn't we? So I'm just going to show you an overstitch. It's just like the blanket stitch, but you're not putting the thread through the loop. It's the same principle. So I just thought I'd show you a different stitch tonight. This isn't as neat, and for me to do, some people do it a lot neater and it's a beautiful stitch, but it never looks very nice when I do it. That's why I usually do the blanket stitch. But it's quick, so we'll be fine. Just go in that corner bit there, and then we'll put a little bit of toy stuffing in there. Still got some out from last night's video, which is wonderful. You can see what I'm doing well enough. And then I must try and remember that I've got to sew the bucket in the bottom, or the trunk. I'm going to sew that in as well. I'm just putting one layer in between. I suppose you could do 2 layers and stuff that as well, couldn't you? And just leave the top of the trunk flat so that you can sew it in. That would be an option, but I'm just doing the 1 layer tonight with the bucket. Sorry, the trunk. I don't know why I keep saying bucket. Mind you, I kept calling the holly leaves ivy leaves last night, didn't I, for some stupid reason. I don't know why I kept doing that. Clearly not ivy. I had ivy leaves on the brain yesterday for some reason. When I was doing the searches, I kept searching ivy leaves and thinking, what have I put ivy leaves in for? The holly. Holly and berries I want. Middle-aged brain fog, I think. So this is, as you can see, just a plain running stitch, but as you can tell, it looks very similar to the blanket stitch. It's over stitch, sorry, not running stitch. I'm not sure if anybody else calls it something different. I think some people call it a whip stitch. I know my grandma always called it an overstitch, I think, if I remember rightly. Oh, she forgot the trunk after all that talking about it, didn't she? Idiot. So we're just going to... Oh. Now, if you wanted with the trunk, you could always just glue it in between. You know, just to keep it in place while you're stitching, just to make it a little bit more secure. And you could just use a little bit of fabric glue or PVA glue, something like that, as long as it's not too wet. Now then, I'm going to have to take one more stitch out. I think I am, just so I'm not struggling with it. There we go. So as you can see, we're very easy to undo the stitches. And then that goes like that, can you see? Beautiful, isn't it? It's cute. So what I'll do just for this trunk part, because I can't do a whip stitch on this bit, what I'll do is I'll just do a very quick running stitch. Oops, missing the green there. There we go. Just back and forth with a running stitch. Come on, Samantha. A running stitch isn't as easy to do in thick felt, but you can go back to doing the overstitch now, or the whip stitch, whatever you prefer to call it. And then let's get some toy stuffing in before it gets too difficult. I wouldn't put too much in here, personally, just because I don't think it needs it. It's just to give it a little bit of character, dimension, bit of life, whatever. But I don't think you need a lot. And I think I'm going to struggle to get them into those points, you know, which is fine. We don't mind, do we? Take some of that out because that's too much, and you don't need it to be too difficult for you to sew up either. There we go. How lovely, how lovely. So it's another a quick project, that you can just sit and relax to while you're watching your favourite programme or listening to your favourite podcast or watching your favourite YouTuber or listening to your favourite YouTuber, because you'll be concentrating on your stitches, won't you? And then I think I'll go and get some of my lemon and honey and garlic mix to get myself feeling better. As you know from previous videos, that we've been doing a massive declutter this year. I'm getting rid of all sorts of things. But while I was trying to do a sort out, we had a lot of things just put into boxes and put away for the time being. So we're having to try and find where things are now. We're really struggling to locate things, but Andy managed to find the stuff I use, you know, my dried hibiscus and rose hips and elderberry for making my winter cold and flu remedies. So we managed to find that the other day, so I'm going to be brewing some of that up the very first opportunity I get, because I can tell you now, guys, I am just not getting better from this awful virus that we've had. So I'm going to try and make some of that up as soon as I can. Now then, you can use baker's twine for this, or you could just tie a knot in that and use that for your hanging, couldn't you? Because it's already there, I suppose. And then, as much as I love baker's twine for these things, I could just, oops, I would like it to just knot nicely though if I'm going to leave that in, because I don't want it to look ugly. And then I'll just bury that somewhere else, through there, and snip it off. And when I find my little scissors that have gone AWOL, I will snip that a bit tidier. But there you go. There is your lovely little felt Christmas ornament, and I will decorate the back of it later. I'm not feeling so unwell. I think these would be really nice on a little garland, wouldn't they? Toys, felt toys. Just move you back. There you go. So, my friends, another half an hour when I wanted it to be a 20-minute video, but like I said, I will try and edit it if it'll let me. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you can join me again soon for some more Christmas fun. And for now, I'll say good night, God bless, take care, and I'll see you again soon, friends. Bye for now.